What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 1% Podcast. As always, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for showing support. And thank you guys for showing love on every single episode. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are prospering. I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. And I hope you guys are growing 1% in your everyday life. As always, in the solo episodes, the drink of choice today, coffee. Americano, I just got put on to. Now that little spiel is over. I'm going to talk about what we will be uncovering in this episode, what we will dive into in this episode, and two questions that were answered on the poll that I really wanted to take some time to reflect, to think about in my personal life and in my viewpoints, because I believe that these two questions are very subjective and they are based on perspective, and it won't be the same for everybody. And these questions made me think and made me really dive into my personal life, my past experiences, my current experiences, and how I view life. And I know they will definitely make you reflect and think about your life, and kind of in hopes of changing your perspective, changing your mindset on these two things. And maybe after this episode, you can learn something, can take away from something, can grab something from this episode, as I hope you can. Now, the first question is, what do you think the key to happiness is? And this is a great one because I do believe that this is very subjective, because not everybody will find happiness in the same thing. Everybody will have different perspectives on what happiness may be to them. It'll be a different answer for every person. Now, there may be a majority or consensus of people that will agree on the same thing or may believe in the same thing. And there may be a completely different population that may think differently. And it's really about what is important to you and what you value. And in my personal opinion, the keys to happiness are a few things. Not in any specific order, but I do believe that the key to happiness is, and I will dive into why I believe these things. Keys to happiness is gratitude, is the relationships that you foster and the friendships that you foster and the people that you kind of allow into your life, and creating those connections. And I think that your purpose and being purposeful in something can bring happiness, can bring joy, as well as acts of service. And I guess the last one that I think that really can contribute to happiness is the present moment, is being so focused on here and now and not allowing your mind to wander to the past or allowing your mind to wander to the future. Now, I'll start with gratitude. In reflecting upon this and thinking upon this, I don't believe that we truly understand how grateful we are to even, number one, be alive, and how we fail to act on the how we not act on the gratitude, but how we fail to be grateful for the things that we currently have. And in reflecting upon this within my personal life, I've come to realize that there's so many things that I should be grateful for. See, because gratitude is not, when I think about gratitude, I think that gratitude is being content. And when people hear the word content, they're, I'm content with where I'm at, And that doesn't mean I want better. That doesn't mean I want to strive for better. No, content means that you appreciate where you currently are at in this current moment. And you want better for your life, but you appreciate this path or where you currently are going in this part of your journey. You can want more, but being content with the here and with the now and with what you currently have, you can find that happiness. You can find that positive light to cling on to for the future. But if we fail to act with gratitude in this current moment, we won't ever get to where we truly want to be. It's like we can never be happy with where we currently are at because we're always wanting more. And the book I'm currently reading, The Mountain Is You, talks upon that. It's if we are currently wanting more in every aspect, when you achieve one thing, right? Say, for example, I achieve 1,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel. My mind is currently going to go to, okay, 2,000, okay, 5,000, okay, 10,000. Instead of sitting back and appreciating this milestone that I've currently accomplished. If we always are focusing on what's next and never appreciating what is and what we currently have, how do we expect to receive more blessings in the future? Because the thing is that God is not going to give you any more blessings if you don't appreciate what is given to you. If you're never fully grateful, if you never fully take in and grasp and really dive in and appreciate what you currently have and what you currently are achieving, how do you expect to gain anything in the future? How do you expect to push further and get to new levels if the only thing that you are focused on is what's next, what's next, what's next, what's next? And I've fallen victim to that because I'm always thinking about what's next, what's next, what's next, instead of sitting back and really reflecting and appreciating the greatness or the lives that I've currently affected in my young age. We have to find that balance between going after more and being appreciative of what we currently have, because it could be gone in an instant. Everything that you currently have in this moment can be gone tomorrow in an instant. Something can happen in your life. Somebody could be taken from your life. The thing that you are skillful in or your purpose can be taken from you. The circumstances can be completely different in one day, in 1 second. So if we fail to appreciate this moment and what we've currently done, we can never gain anything in the future. And that's, to me, what I believe, how gratitude can play a big part in happiness, because happiness is fleeting. You're never going to be fully happy, because one day you can be, the next day you could have a terrible day, and the next day after that could be a rocky day. The next day after that could be a subpar day. Happiness is fleeting. Happiness is ebb and flow. Happiness is up and down. We think that we're going to be in this state of tranquility where we're happy all the time, but that's not the case. But we can be happier, but that doesn't mean that happiness is going to be sustainable in our lives. What we have to understand is that happiness is going to ebb and flow. Some days you're going to be happy. Some days you're going to be sad. Some days you're going to be mad. Some days you're going to be angry. But the perspective shift is when we are able to practice gratitude. Okay, I understand that I'm currently angry in this moment, but what do I currently have in my life? Okay, I have a roof over my head. I am a young individual that is healthy, that has great relationships, that is going to the gym, that's taking care of my health, that is doing all of these things, that is trying their best, that is trying to be the best version of self. And in that, having food on your plate, having water, having all these things is extremely underrated, and we don't fail to realize that. You can be grateful for one thing in your life. 2 things in your life, 3 things in your life. But we look on the grand scheme of things and the macro of things, and we never look at the micro of things, what we currently have. Because everybody has something. Everybody has something that they could be grateful about, that they could practice gratitude with. I have a roof over my head. Like I said, I have food on the table. I have water. I have a camera. I have lights. I have a microphone. I have a following of people that listen to me speak, that appreciate my perspective, that sit here and really take time out of their day to listen to me. How can I not be grateful? I've affected so many lives. How can I not be grateful with what I currently have? And like I said, when you focus on where you want to go and what's next, you currently disrupt the present moment. You currently disrupt what you currently have. And that's not something that you should be proud about, but that's something that you should work upon, because we all struggle with it. We all want to know what's next. We all want to get that next thing. That's why gratitude is, to me, is incredibly important. It's incredibly important. It's incredibly important. Be grateful for what you have, but that doesn't mean that you have to settle for what you currently have. Be grateful for the journey that you're on. Be grateful for the road that you're taking and where you currently are at. But that doesn't mean you have to stay there. Now, that is part 1 of what I believe the keys to happiness is. And I would say that, like I said, the second thing to me that I believe is an incredible key to happiness is the relationships that we foster, the friendships, the romantic relationships, the people in our life, whether that's family members, like I said, friends, romantic relationships, just people that we encounter on a day-to-day. And who would we be without some of these people, right? Who can we become? Who have we become with these people in our corner? Because it's like, if you're on your journey, right, and you're trying to achieve success, trying to go after success, and you have nobody around you that you could share that with, then what good is the success? If you can't share the success with anybody, if you aren't able to share those valuable moments and milestones and accomplishments, then what good is success? If you can't share with friends or family members or a romantic partner, if you have one, if you can't share with nobody and you're only by yourself in that journey, what good is the success that you've achieved? To me, I don't believe there is any good to it, because you get to share it with people that love you, that you love, that you appreciate, that you value, and that appreciate you and that value you. If you do it by yourself and you have that mindset where it's like, I'm only going to do it for me and I don't want nobody around and I want to do it myself because, I'm self-made and all of this, that won't get you very far. We can only go so far by ourselves, but we can go farther with others. If we have others' support, others' love, others' appreciation, we can only go so far by ourselves. And I've fallen victim to this mindset so many times, where it's, okay, I'm going to do this by myself and I don't want nobody with me, and I'm going to achieve it by myself because nobody wants to help me out. Nobody wants to see me win. But I was so wrong. I was so wrong in thinking of this, because there's so many other people that want to see me win that I want to be around, because they're going to be successful, because we're like-minded and we think the same and we want the same things in our life, and people that want for me the same as I want for them. And that's just something that you can't replace. You can't replace that. The best accomplishments that I've had was with people that I've shared it with. The milestones that I've shared it with people and shared that success with. And not even just sharing success, but just people that you can relate to, people that you could talk to, people that you could have deep conversations with, people that you could share your ideas, share your thoughts, share your philosophies, share the perspectives and the mindset that you have towards life, and they are able to agree or maybe shift your perspective or shift your way of thinking or shift your mindset. And that is so beautiful in happiness, in being with other people and being surrounded by other people. And if you do that by yourself, I don't even know if you could do it by yourself. I don't even know if it's something that's attainable that you could do by yourself. Because we need other people. As much as we want to try to do it ourselves, we need other people to succeed, to grow, to expand. We need other people. As much as we want to do it by ourselves, we need other people. We need community. We need support. We need love. We need appreciation. We need being valued in what we're going after in our life, in growing and becoming the next version of self and elevating self and getting to that next level within self, within success, within personal development. All of these things. We need other people. You have to get out of that selfish mindset of trying to do it by yourself, or more or less pushing yourself away from other people, being avoidant towards other people because you think that they may have agendas or have all these things. You're never going to grow. Like I said in previous episodes, you're never going to grow meaningful relationships if you are unwilling to be accepting of others, if you are unwilling to let others in and be a part of your world, because you never know what they can offer you and you never know what you can offer them. It's a mutual exchange. You never know what value they could give you. You never know that the value that you could give them. You never know the mindset shifts that they can give you. But when you close yourself off and you're closed-minded in your approach because of previous experiences, from past experiences, you will never be able to really cultivate meaningful relationships and meaningful friendships. That's why relationships are incredibly important. Friendship, platonic, family members, people that you just met, people that you may pass on the street. Be open, willing, and receptive to what anybody tells you, because you should be a student of life. You should be wanting to learn different things. You should be wanting to listen to other people and other perspectives and be receptive to everyone. You should be wanting to do that. You should be a student of life. Now that's the two things that I believe. I'm going to take a sip of coffee real quick because my mouth is dry. As I reflect on the next point, the present moment. I guess that kind of goes into the first point, right? Where it's we can never really grasp. We can never really appreciate where we are at if we're always looking for the next thing. And the present moment, like being so caught up on what has happened in the past is the past is a guide for the here and now and for the future. What we are able to learn from previous experiences and can be applied to the now will affect who we are, who we become, who we surround ourselves with for the future. It's a guide. It's literally a map. Okay, this experience happened to me, so I'm not going to let it affect my present moment and my way of thinking. Because really the future is the present moment made up over time. That's really what the future is. That's really what the future is. Decisions or actions that happen now that affect our future. And how can you be able to steer away or make different decisions or better decisions is changing the decisions that you make now. And those prior experiences, the prior knowledge that you've learned, maybe through pain, maybe through suffering, maybe through whatever has happened to you, can affect and change and alter your present moment because of that knowledge, because of what you learned during that time, which can affect your future, which can affect what happens next. So the past is not to be sitting here and dwelling on and thinking about, damn, what could I have done different? What could have happened? What should have happened? But you can change what happens now, because that already happened. That part of your life has already happened. There's nothing that you can do to alter that in the past. There's nothing that you could do to alter anything that has already happened. You can't go back. You can't change it. There's nothing that you could do. But what you can do now is make different decisions, and with that knowledge of previous experience, being able to make better discernment for the present moment. And when we look at it such as that, we are able to really sit back and identify that the present moment is something that we've always had and we should have always appreciated. Because the present moment is the only thing that we have. We don't have the future, and we can't get back the past. So the only thing that we will ever have and we will ever know of is here and now. Worrying about something that's going to happen in 5 minutes, in 10 minutes, in 30 minutes, in a day, in a month, 6 months, a year is pointless. Because you'll never know what will happen. It's not something that is tangible, that is in our reach. We can't control what happens 6 months from now. But what we can control is here and now. What we can control is making better decisions, going about life a certain way, taking control of our life instead of letting life control us. We have the power to do so. We have the power to change that. We can't change anything that's going to happen in the future. We can't change what has already happened in our past. But with that knowledge, like I said, can alter our present moment. And time really messes us up, because when we look at time, we think that we don't have enough. But we do. We do if we choose to look at it as so. 24 hours in a day is more than enough time to really embark on what you want to achieve in this life. You just have to prioritize your time. You just have to manage your time better. You have to focus on a task at hand. Maybe write it out. Maybe plan ahead for days or for the day. That's what you have. Everybody has 24 hours, but being able to choose it wisely and what we want to choose with our time, with our attention, with our energy, with what we want to give. We have the power, and we can control what we give our time to, what we give our attention to, and what we give our energy to. We have full control of that. So make sure that you are using that time, that energy, that attention wisely. Because the present moment is the only thing that we will ever have. It's the only thing that we know is tangible. Those to me are the keys of happiness. I hope that answers your question. I hope that you found that part one of the questions valuable, that you found that to be of use. Where do you pull the most inspiration from? Now, I had to take some time to really think about this one. I had to have some conversations. I had to sit back and think about this. And I really I'm going to go on a personal tangent, and then I'm going to go on, where you can pull inspiration from, where you can pull that passion, that purpose from. Not even more or less purpose, but where you can pull that inspiration from, where you should pull that inspiration from, or kind of maybe giving you a different perspective on that. In thinking about this question, I had to really reflect on my journey in not even just social media, the podcast, but just in life. Where was I able to pull that inspiration from? Inspiration, motivation, having that mentality of just go, and having that mentality of just get it at any cost, and trying to grow in my everyday life. And in doing so, I realized that there has been countless amounts of times where I have been counted out. I haven't been picked. There would be things that people would write me off for, that said I wouldn't be able to do. And that started from really basketball. That was 100% basketball. Growing up playing basketball, I was always told that, you're not good enough in this area. You're not good enough. Getting cut from my high school team and allowing that to propel me to want to be better and want to get better. And what I noticed is that I always had a willingness to just come back and prove people wrong. That what you thought about me and your ideas, or the way that you viewed me, or basically just writing me off and telling me I'm not good enough, I'm not going to achieve it, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, always motivated me. It always pushed me to greater heights in everything that I wanted to do. Doesn't matter if it was basketball, if it was the podcast, if it was social media. When somebody tells me I'm not good enough, I'm not able to do this, that just makes me want to get it more. That just makes me want to say, you know what? Okay, you might be right about I might not be good at it now. I might not be the best at it now. But guess what? I have this willing and this desire and this fire in me to prove you wrong. Because what you tell me is only a limitation of a belief that you have. The limitation that you set for yourself. The limitation that you view on my potential. That's not a reflection of my potential. What another person tells you, what you're capable of, isn't what your actual potential or cap is. That's just how they view you. Because either deep down inside, they cannot get that themselves, they're unwilling to try to get that themselves, or they know that they won't achieve that themselves. So they try to place all this negativity on you, this limitation on you, because they are scared to do it themselves. But they know that you have this great potential to be great, to do great things, to be successful. So they want to say all these things to bring you down to this lower vibration, so you don't truly believe in yourself. So you don't truly go after the things that you want to go after. So whenever I'm told no, whenever somebody tells me, like I said, you can't do that, you're not going to do something, you can't achieve this. Oh, that idea, that thing that you're trying to achieve is worthless. You're wasting your time. That just makes me want to get it more. That just makes me want to go even harder. That just makes me want to be better and grow and really inspire myself and really motivate myself to do better. And that's happened so many times in my life. And I know people that are listening to this, that probably has happened to them in their lives as well. It's a common theme that something happens in our life, somebody tells us something, some experience, something happens, and we get knocked down and we're at rock bottom and we're trying to look up and we're trying to see the light and we're trying to really get to that next level. We're trying to pick ourselves up and dust ourselves off. And when people tell us no, or they reject us, or they say that we're not able to do something, or they try to place this limitation on us, but we find this fire and we just push and we try to become better, and we end up doing better. We become better. And then the people that said all these things, they look at us in awe, and they look at you and I always thought, what? I knew you could do it. That's the thing about life, and that's the thing about people sometimes. It's that when you just have to prove people wrong. Not everybody is going to be a believer. Not everybody is going to believe in what you're going after, because there's going to be skeptics. And it may be the people that are closest to you, the people that you hold close and dear to your heart. They may be the skeptics. But sometimes you just have to make them believers. You have no other choice but to make them a believer. Not everybody's going to believe. Not everybody's going to be on the train towards success with you. Not everybody's going to sit here and believe in the things that you're trying to achieve. Even the ones that are closest to you. So proving those people wrong, even the ones that you love, is sometimes a necessity, and sometimes something that you just have to go through. You have to make them a believer. So the inspiration for me is, one, the people that have doubted me, but also understanding that this is my life's purpose. This is what God has bestowed upon me and granted me with this. It's not a gift, but it's just a way of thinking, with being able to inspire people with love, with compassion, with empathy, with being able to motivate people to get to that next level. When you find your purpose, when you find the thing that is your calling, when you are able to see it and really look at it and really have this clear vision of what your purpose is, life becomes so much easier. So much easier to step into your day-to-day life knowing that you have a life's purpose. Because some people don't. Everybody has a life's purpose, but not everybody realizes what that purpose is. So the inspiration for me, knowing that God gave me this vision and gave me this heart and was able to grant me this mind and really have me inspire other people through words, through actions, being able to motivate people through love, through compassion, through empathy. Being able to just sit down with another human being and really get to know them, and really sit down and have a conversation with somebody that is going through tough times, and being able to motivate them, and having people message you, yo, I needed this. Yo, this video that I saw, I needed this. Thank you. That's my inspiration, to motivate people. Because guess what? I was in that dark place. There's been countless of times where I've been in that dark place, that I couldn't get myself out. Granted, I had some people along the way to help me get out, right? Because I inevitably did get out. And everybody does get out. But I was in that dark place. So the inspiration for me is to help other people get out of that dark place. Because guess what? You're not those limitations. You're not what people are telling you. You're not what your mind is telling you. You're not what your surroundings are telling you. Your environment is telling you. You're greater than that. This dark time is not going to be the end all be all. It's not going to be the final equation to your destination. It's not. So that's my inspiration, to help other people, to motivate, to inspire other people. And in a world full of darkness, in a world full of evil, in a world full of people that just don't want things for other people, don't want them to succeed, that is where the inspiration comes from. To be the light on this earth. To be the light for the rest of the world. To understand and teach people that it is possible to achieve your dreams. It is possible to get out of that situation. It is possible to push forward. It is possible to beat the odds. It is possible to beat what your mind is telling you, what your environment is telling you. It is possible. Anything is possible. And that's such a cliche saying, but I know it to be true. Because guess what? I pulled myself out. So if I can pull myself out, I know you can too. I know deep down in my heart that whatever situation, whatever you're going through behind closed doors, I know that it's possible for you to overcome. So that's my inspiration. One of. You know how good it feels to when I was in my darkest hours, when I didn't even have the motivation to make videos, when I didn't have the energy during some points of my life, there was people that, and it was so weird. It was just so weird. But this is when I knew God was real. When I was going through my darkest hours, the darkest times of my life, when I was doubting myself, when I was questioning myself, when I was questioning my purpose, when I was questioning all of these things, every single time, God implemented one thing that gave me a reminder that I'm on the right path. That my purpose is real. That purpose is real. When I would go to the gym and the friends that I made at the gym and the people that I admire and I respect and I value and I appreciate, even if it was a random person, would come up to me and say, yo, that video, I needed to hear that. That podcast, that episode, I needed to hear that. And it was always on the days where I questioned myself the most. So how ironic is that, right? You wake up, you may be having a bad day. There may have been certain events. Your mind may be playing tricks on you. And in that negative way of thinking, God just says, keep trusting the process. Keep trusting your purpose. Keep trusting yourself. Yo, I needed that. I needed that podcast episode. What you're doing is just so great. It's so authentic. It's from the heart. It's from love. How ironic is that? On the days where I thought ill of myself, that happens. It's not by coincidence. That's God telling you, yo, keep going. I know you may be struggling. I know you may be going through some tough times. Your mind is playing tricks on you. But keep going. How ironic is that somebody I pass on the street in another setting of that way of thinking Yo, I know you. And it happened twice. Yo, I know you. I've seen you on TikTok before. How ironic is it that a random person comes up to me and tells me about my video, somebody that I've never seen in my life. I've never seen them in my life. And they come up and they say, yo, I appreciate your videos. Yo, keep doing what you're doing. Because I see you. It's working. What God has placed upon you is real and it's going to touch so many lives. How ironic is that happens on that way of thinking during that day when I'm thinking ill of myself, when I'm thinking the worst of myself. How ironic is it that happens? It's not by coincidence. That's God telling you, yo, stay on the path. So that's what inspires me. The people around me, the people around you should inspire you. They should inspire you. You should be able to give ideas, take ideas, give perspectives, take perspectives, give a piece of your mindset, learn a piece of their mindset, give love, take love, give appreciation, take appreciation, give value, allow value to come into your life. All these things. That's where the inspiration comes from. And I didn't realize it until I really reflected and sat. And in those darkest hours, and after the fact that happened, think about what's going on here. But the thing is that I just had to trust God and the plan that He had laid out for me. The plan that I had out for myself. Trust the process. Trust my day-to-day. Trust the work I'm putting in. Trust everything that I'm doing. Trust the 1%. I had to live by what I preached. Becoming 1% better in my life and understanding that will lead me to somewhere. That will lead me to where I want to be. To be surrounded by the people that I want to be surrounded by. To go to the places that I want to go. To do the things that I want to do. This 1% is no joke. It's nothing to be played around with. The 1% effect, when you take it seriously and you really dive in and hone into that, the 1% effect, man, it can work wonders. So I had to preach what I teach. I had to preach what I teach and really trust myself. So those are those two questions. We're coming up on 45 minutes. Those are the inspirations. Those are the things that inspire me. I'm curious to know what you think in the comments. Write down what you think is your keys to happiness. What you are inspired by. What inspires you? What is happiness to you? Write that down in the comments. I'm curious to know. I want to know your perspectives on this. As always, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for showing support. Thank you guys for showing love on every single episode. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I hope you found this episode valuable. Thank you guys for rocking with me. This is the 1% Podcast. I'm out.